New routes from major international airlines are a focus in today's aviation news recap, and there's also a very special place for the Airbus A350 with some exciting developments there. Why not begin with Air Canada, who have announced the enhancement of their own international route network with flights to launch to Manila in the Philippines. The Canadian flag carrier will offer 4 weekly flights year-round between Vancouver and Manila. They say service will commence in the spring of 2025, with the 2nd of April being the day AC-17 will complete its first westbound flight to the country. Service will operate as AC-17 and 18, with the Manila-bound flight departing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays initially. You may think to yourself, hang on, didn't I just mention it was a 4 times weekly service? And you'd be correct if you noticed that. It is because initially we'll see 3 weekly flights. The thrice weekly service will depart at 1:55 in the morning before a next day 6:20 a.m. arrival into the Philippines. This is for only a 30-day period thereabouts. Air Canada says that service from 1 May 2025 will then increase to 4 times a week with the same departure and arrival times, but we will actually see a shift in the days the flights will be conducted, with flights going out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. The 787 Dreamliner will be operated between the 2 locations, with this a plane configured in 3 classes. Through this service, Air Canada is the only scheduled company in the country to serve the Philippines, and given the country's large demand, it also knows that a direct service to the Philippines from Canada is very important. From Vancouver, Manila will become the 12th route on the Trans-Pacific network, which has become very important following the easing of restrictions from the global pandemic that affected the ability to serve trans-Pacific demand. Air Canada has prioritized locations such as South Korea, Japan, the People's Republic of China, Thailand, Australia, and even New Zealand, all from the west coast of Canada in Vancouver. Service from this city to the countries mentioned just before is incredibly important and is definitely aided by Vancouver's geographical positioning, which allows it to be the closest Canadian city to link broader North America to Asia and the Pacific without requiring a single stop, thanks to the capabilities of aircraft nowadays. Air Canada says they're absolutely thrilled to add Manila to their global network on a year-round basis, and to continue strengthening their position from Vancouver, acting as a gateway for the Pacific, and allowing traffic to connect also then onwards to other parts of the country that it calls home. Moreover, the company realizes that the Philippines is an important market that, thanks to its ties between the 2 countries and the growing tourism and business opportunities, is one it needs to serve. But they know there's more than just the demand that they're seeing in the Philippines towards locations they're not currently flying towards, but there has been persistent limitations concerning the availability of aircraft, and this has been a focal point for the business. Time and time again, we've seen the airline put forward cities that it would like to begin flying towards in the near future, likely seen through investor releases and future planning PowerPoints. The flag carrier has committed to more Dreamliners to be delivered in the coming years, which will ease pressures and facilitate these routes I've been talking about. Cities such as my home in Melbourne have all been put on the list, but again, patience has to be exercised. These planes need to arrive, and then they can be deployed onto the routes that Air Canada does see fit. Over to the Airbus A350. Swiss is preparing to revamp its fleet and has actually announced commitments to enhance the A350's future presence across its business. Switzerland-based company, part of broader Lufthansa Group, says it will take delivery of more long-haul aircraft from the 350 family than what was initially expected. Considered an enhanced investment from Lufthansa Group, Swiss is expected to grow its initial 5 A350s to 10. Basically a doubling act that'll signal its intent for future flying. The A350-900 has been selected from 2027 onwards. Additional units equipped with the new Swiss Sensors cabin interior are expected to arrive. The first A350 is expected to be delivered next year during the summer season, assuming there are no further complications, which is always hard to assume, as I'll take a look at a little bit later in this segment. The deliveries will be continued over a 6-year period, with the expectation the final aircraft will be delivered in 2031. The routes on which the A350 will actually be deployed upon have not yet been publicly revealed. The airline is expected to continue finalizing the plan for the entry into service of this aircraft before eventually a first delivery can occur. Overall, Lufthansa Group knows that Swiss has a very important role in meeting future demand right across Europe, but the fleet needs substantial improvements. While the primary flag carrier in Lufthansa has attempted to revamp its fleet and advance at a rapid rate, Swiss's fleet has become quite dated. Thus, its operational performance could be deemed as not the most optimal for a company entering the mid-2020s. Swiss's CEO says that the Lufthansa Group's investment will cater to the ever-evolving requirements that have been laid out by its customer base. Not only is the aircraft expected to change the company for the better with regards to its onboard product, but the plane will be quieter, more efficient, and should be one customers enjoy more. The A350 will also facilitate the retirement of some of your older, less efficient planes that would ideally be departing sooner rather than later to meet sustainability targets. Additionally, with more A350s in the airline's name, future network expansion for markets deemed of interest to Swiss will be possible. The announcement that the A350 presence will grow is ultimately one that will not come without hurdles. The broader Lufthansa Group is grappling with persistent delivery delays, which have impacted many airlines' ability to transition towards the next generation of aircraft. Swiss, at the very least, will be hoping that things will smooth in 2025 and onwards, and therefore these A350s will be delivered on time. As for the final story, well, it relates to TAP Air Portugal, who are launching multiple new flights to the United States next year. The company has selected flights between Lisbon and Los Angeles to launch first, with the debut occurring on the 16th of May, operating thrice weekly. Initially, departures will come on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, but this will actually only occur for 10 days. TAP says that from the 26th of May, a fourth weekly service will be added on Saturdays until the 25th of October. You can essentially feel that this is to meet the summer seasonal demand. TAP will use its state-of-the-art next-generation A330neo on the service, with this aircraft equipped to seat 298 passengers, and it of course comes with all the latest amenities. Away from Los Angeles, TAP says it will also begin Porto to Boston flights on the 14th of May as part of further expansion efforts to the US. The aircraft selected is the A321LR, which certainly highlights recent developments in aircraft technology and how single-aisle flying is now possible to such locations. I know the jury is certainly out on whether this single-aisle flying is actually a desired means to travel or if customers would prefer a wide-body, but airlines from an economic standpoint certainly like it. While there are complexities with cabin crew, you'd think this is something they will eventually iron out. TAP will also enhance service from Lisbon to San Francisco, making this a triangular service. All in all, they just want greater connectivity to the United States, an important market for them, and they've now got the aircraft to be able to make all of this possible. TAP already flies towards 7 airports in the US, from Newark, New York, Boston, Miami, Washington DC, San Francisco, and Chicago. Porto to Newark has already been served. It's an exciting period. There are lots of new routes that are being announced for the 2025 summer season. I'd love to hear your take down below in the comments. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time for your latest industry news. And we'll